we're good. Let's get stream bot on. Right, we are all up and running. Let me just adjust my chair. There we go, that's better. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me all right. Hopefully. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Have we got any... Good morning, how you doing? I'm alright, thank you for asking. Let's just get everything in order. Let's get everyone online. Give everyone time to get in. Let's do that, just so we have our chat in front of us. Amazing. Alright, let's do this. Let's just get some quick chests done. How is everyone doing this morning? You're all good? Or this afternoon, depending where you are. So I'm just doing some chests quickly while we wait. Our Hydra is in 20 minutes, so we got a little bit of time to kill. We also have the Crucible. I might start the Crucible of Courage right now, to be fair. To start the Crucible, then it might give us some extra XP, what we're waiting on. Probably Syndron if you have him. The fact that he's like double normal hits is kind of OP. We're going to be doing a new video on him soon anyway, since we've been doing on this server a lot more testing involved, like PvP as well as like the behemoths, so everyone now fully understands how his full kit works. But if you can run Freyga and Syndreon, or Syndreon and Freyga with that precision tree still, that is a monster march in Behemoth Raids. We had earlier, obviously, the raid, and Hulkden came second, and he were running that march. You were running Syndreon Freyga. I were testing out for free-to-play players, and I came 18th, and I did Gwan win plus Freyga to see if that was any good. And to be fair, for a free-to-play player march, it did a ton of damage. They're dying too quick. I was gonna like use my artifact just to get them killed a little bit quicker while we're waiting, but looks like we don't need to. So that's the first 5. We get that reward, free key. Gonna get 4 heads today, hopefully. Hopefully get it done today. If not, definitely tomorrow. Can't be missing out on those free head guys, you know that. Try and get it. There we go. I didn't want my AoE to be hitting the that random patrol and obviously cause it to draw aggro. That's fine though. So we'll start matching up in a sec. We've got plenty of time. Trying to kill that Archer March first, because this is like Cav, so it's basically the front line in this one. Nice and easy. Nothing too crazy this morning. Nice and easy morning for us all. Alright, go the lizard this time. Oh, I almost called it a dragon. Don't have wings. No, this is hitting me now because the AoE. I might just have to quickly kill it. So kill this. Hopefully this comes off us. No, it's still hitting me. We'll just kill this. If we have enough CP to do that, obviously. There we go. Nicely. We've got 10 sitting there, so we could do 10 afterwards when we get some CP back. I wonder if I'm able... I want to try... Well, no, I don't actually. We tested it earlier, to be fair. So, let's send our archers. There we go. Full power. If only we could have got that artifact to 40, it would have been nice, you know. I might be able to, but I don't think so. Yeah, we're missing too much. Almost. If hit that 40 on it, would have been a nice little buff. Would have hit that damage taken reduction, but we get a lot of stats as well, obviously pushing up. So we go. Walk up to the Hydra. Is anyone fought the Hydra yet? Have you taken your elites? Let me know in chat. There we are. Boom. Let's open these keys as well. We've got some artifacts. See if we're lucky today. Nice. Take it. Could have been better, but we'll take it. Trying to get all these guys done. Oh, wrong one. We're not busy. I swear. I promise. There we are. We have been, and I'm going to make a new video soon. But as you can see, we've already started making nice progress on the speeds. If you're wondering what we're talking about, I did burn a lot of speeds that a lot of people saw for power event as well as like Strongest Lord. And I made a video on speed ups and stuff, and I'm going to be making a follow-up video in the next couple of days that will obviously get released after the speed up video when it comes out, and that will show you in, you know, 5 days how much speed ups you can earn by just doing stuff, right? So nice and easy. Let's send our Keller. Ooh, can get almost. I need to do some dueling later, maybe as well. Be nice. See if we can set up some duels. I could try it now, you know, just be like anyone want a cav duel and just send my cavs somewhere. That'd be pretty cool. Test them out. Test the build differences out. There we go. Advertise as well so people know we're streaming in our kingdom. Almost hitting that 200k mark though. Feels good. Feels good. You know, we've almost got that policy complete. If only we could have had it done, you know, give us that extra little bit of damage. But once we get this done, we're going to have to start working back on these and probably go back and complete container. Do the container one so then we can finish this. You know, I mean, we'll probably do the healing, finish off all the healing stuff. Or we might even push some XP, you know. It's been easy to level up heroes so far. Like, I haven't chosen to level these guys up, because I just don't use them, but the guys that I've used, you can see, like, this is pretty good levels for, like, the 3rd week now. We've got 11 minutes to go. So, while we wait, I'll try and push some dragon trials. We can be productive in this time, so let's try. We are going to run a different combo here. So get more front line playing this way. And we've got our awakened heroes. Well, I could even run that, to be fair. Let's do that, actually. It's a little bit less troop count, I know, but I think this is just stronger now for myself. And we can run pure spearmen. And I'm going to run pure spearmen, guys. The reason why, spearmen are stronger than the wyvern rider, you know, so definitely need to run spearmen. Right, so we're going to lock these up, do the AoE cleave attacks, and then I'm going to kill, obviously, left to right then. There we go, nice and easy. Could even kill this one as well. I think this one's got the buff on, and it's an archer, so yeah, let's just kill the archer first. Finish off this guy now. I think we'll kill Garwood at the end. Are you enjoying the new season? Does it feel the same as this one? No, to be fair, I'm glad. I would have preferred having this season, obviously, earlier, as everyone would have known. Because we've played through the first season that you guys have played through 3 times, but honestly, from that season to this season, I am happy with the changes. Like, it does give you, like, you know, in that first season, it teaches you all the basics, and it teaches you all the things you need to know, which is really cool. But then, obviously, then you can move forward into the next season and unlock some more, like, mechanics. So, that's the way I look at it. It's been good. I thought it was going to be a bit more iffy, but I think the village management system, like, that village system is the saving grace. I'm not gonna lie. I think T5 in this game is earlier than T5 in Rock, but only by a small margin. It's nothing, you know, close. Alright, well, far, should I say. Because right now, I'm in the end game stage to unlock in T5. And it's the same as Rock. So, like, without any buffs or anything, the level 10 researches you need to complete, they're 110 days each. So, when you have your behemoth buffs, to obviously reduce that, and then you have all the other buffs, it goes all the way down to around 70 odd days or something, or 90 odd days. But it's still a lot of time you need to push through, so I'd say it's relatively the same. Maybe this game's a little bit quicker. I might ask Ghost and some of the other whales what they feel. They might say the same, to be fair, but from my progression and how I've played this game, to be fair, I've played it the same as I played my Rock account. and we did honestly push the exact same speed almost, you know. So I should have T5 if I keep playing the way I am within the year. So I wish I had hero talent resets, I'm not gonna lie. Because I might, in the future, just run Nico, Freyga, and Kanara as like my holy trinity. Mobility March, Raid March, PvP March. And then I can use Horsk, Fear, Craig as the deputies, and maybe Madeline too with some of them. So let's get in. We are all as ready as we can be. Welcome to the army, dude. Thanks for the sub. So let's see if we can push some DPS. If you always wonder as well, as a free-to-play player, this raid is honestly, if you're an Archer player too in the first season, this is one of the best raids that you can honestly get a top 5 rating in. Because if you're a player that understands the mechanics compared to your alliance, and you can get maybe 1 or 2 of those red damage stones, you're going to honestly be competing in the top. So let's see if we're able to do it ourselves today. Four minutes to go. So we will give you guys a quick rundown as well for everyone who's tuning in. And I'll record some bits just so I can make a YouTube video, obviously, for it. So the Hydra. So this is what we're going to be fighting today. If you want to get the frame, you need to do it within 6 minutes and 30 seconds. If you complete the raid, no matter what in the elite raid for participating, you're going to be able to get these 800 gems and the rewards on screen. And the reason why this is so difficult is the 20% less damage on enemy ranged units and the final agony, the thread, whatever you want to call it. This agony is brutal. So whenever someone dies, it heals 2%, which is equivalent of wasting between 20 to 30 seconds worth of DPS. So this is brutal. Poison Rains is an annoying effect that you're going to have to watch out for. If you wonder what this is, you know, when we were just doing the raid or those dragon trials just then, we was able to see the poison rain from the venomous lizards. Well, the Hydra does that too now, so you have to be paying attention. This is just giving you some nice little areas of watching the damage. So you can see the big difference. So let's now go ready to the raid. Got 2 minutes to go. Let's see if we're gonna be able to do it. We should be able to get the frame first, just because of the rankings. Obviously, it's such a big time difference that we're definitely grabbing the frame. So we'll start recording on the 30-second timer. The reason is, as you guys know, normally if you are in an elite raid, it boots everyone out. But a little tip and trick that anyone who's watching a live stream right now, you're going to watch the alliance member or officers spam click the start. And if you spam click the start within the last like 10 seconds, what happens is obviously when it switches to 0 and then into the raid, you can immediately trigger the raid and it won't force everyone to teleport out. So I'm going to try and stay positioned around here. So we're on the 30-second mark. I'm going to start recording in a sec. But nice, easy raid. I'll do obviously a live commentary through it for all those guys who, you know, might have not fought this before. You know, looking for the first time. Well, you're going to get a nice live experience. So let's hit that record button. We've got 10 seconds to go. So if done correctly, these guys should start the raid without us needing. There we go. So now it's already in the elite phase. We can go. We just need, obviously, the tanks now to start it. Oh, someone already started it. So we're going to just start DPSing. I'm going to grab one of these stones. I'm going to leave the second stone up. Get ready to use our shadow blades. And because we've got the damage stone on us, that's obviously doing more damage as well for that shadow blade to proc. So nice and easy. It's going to do this big AoE move. You want to make sure you're not in that big cone. And it's going to spit out again at this rock. So there we go. Nice and easy. Got the rock. Back into DPSing now. And we do lose a little bit of troop count, obviously, but by taking in power stones, that little bit of troop count is way better to lose than having a 25% increase in damage, right? Or 20% increase in damage. So you want to be doing that. He's running to this stage now. So I'm moving away because he's going to knock you away. And a little tip here. If you noticed, I didn't take any damage there. And I was able to obviously move into position. These guys have got the crevices covered. So we're going to carry on going into DPSing, alright? I'm going to just dodge these little spots. And the next phase is the big one, right? We need to start healing as soon as these healing things come out. So watch how we handle it, right? Hopefully we get a really good heal. Since we've done this a lot of times now, so we would hope so. And it's right on top of me, so I'm on one. We've got 4 here already. Follow me so everyone knows. We're on 9. We just need one more on this. And there we go, we've got the heal on us. Once we get the heal, I'm going to grab this stone on the left. And now we're moving out of the zone. You can see the timer coming up. We're out of that AoE, and now we can go back into DPSing now. Nice and easy mechanics showcased on what you should be doing here. We've got our Shadow Blades back up, so obviously we're going to use that. And as you can see, we've lost almost 500 damage. And that's because we didn't have one of these stones on. Obviously, we can see those guys grabbing them stones. And if no one grabs this one, I'm going to go and grab it. Oh, we got someone else. So that's why I haven't chose to do it. If it's close enough, guys, try and grab the stone, obviously. So now we're going to move our march back. He's going to knock us all away. We took a little bit of damage there because it was a bit too close. So I'm going to stay on this crevice here. And let someone else DPS. And this is just showcasing, look, everyone has to do their job, you know. Circle is now filled. We've done it. Now let's move forward. And you got to pay attention, guys. Look, these guys are dying. And because they're dying, it's going to cause us a harder job. You know, if you die, you're healing up, and if you pay attention, it heals up those units. So you gotta make sure everyone is. But it looks like it might be a reset here. We've already got 18 members. You know, it's not looking good. Let's just reset. And this is why it's one of the hardest raids, guys. You can see other players not paying attention to their march. They're dying. And you can see the health bar now going all the way up. So let's just send our guys home. We're going to be able to obviously see how much damage we've dealt so far in that attempt. Which is obviously fine. It is what it is. One more march, Mr. Broom Squire. There we go, 15.4. It should, in a second, once this is done. There we are. So, defeat. But you can see I hit rank 5, man. I would have had a top 5 DPS position if you kept on playing that. So, just showcases this raid. If you know what you're doing, you can easily get into a high position of DPS. Try and get those gold keys if you are doing it for the first time, which isn't the elite raid, remember. So, you're going to retry it. Just going to send those marchers home. Takes a minute. And then, obviously, we're going to reset. This is why it's the hardest one, boys. Oh, well, one of the hardest. Top 3 are hardest elite raids. Doesn't mess about. And if, like I say, if those players that you're playing with don't get the raid and they die because they're not paying attention to their march and it heals, it's brutal, man. The Necro Giant's the hardest one. Like, the Necro Giant's the hardest raid, and then this Hydra is the second. Because Hydra isn't easy at all. Like, everything's stacked against you in this raid. Like, the mechanics might be, you could say, are simple, but having a 20% damage, you know, reduction on all your DPS marches means you're doing the raid in one, you know, a fifth of a time slower. And then, obviously, if anyone dies because they're not paying attention to the green stacks and you're healing it up, you just saw how quickly a wipe happens. So, this one has the most potential to go wrong. Like, the Necro Giant one's the hardest just because it is just flat out hard to complete. But this is definitely up there. And even like the Thunder Rock, you know, because the Thunder Rock requires everyone to know the mechanics, you know. If you know the mechanics of the raids, they're a lot easier. So even like the Thunder Rock's an easy raid, but if you got one guy that doesn't understand that red marker with the electrical, you know, water, then he's just going to wipe your entire raid, you know. So it doesn't matter how easy you think it is, it's just how brutal the thing is. Compare it to like, you know, the magma demons. The magma demon is just, you know, you get into your positions like you do, and then you just rotate. And the thing is, a dummy can do it because the dummy just gets assigned into a group, and then he moves when he sees all of his teammates move. There's nothing too hard about it. And even the dragon, right? The dragon, you can all run mages, and everyone can stand still and complete the raid. So there's a lot of easier raids later than compared to these like mid-game ones. It's a bit strange. But like the bear and like the dire bear, they're really easy in elite raids, and giant, that's easy. Then it's like probably then the dragon, then maybe magma demon, and then Thunder Rock, Hydra, Necro. I think that's how I'd rank difficulty on elites, especially after the first season, because you guys are still playing on the first season. So when you got 150k marches, it's a bit, you know, savage. go. Just got a message. But that's what I do. I might even do that. What do you guys do? Would you like me to do my thoughts? You know, if I did a tier list, would you like me to do a tier list on all the raids? You know, like elite raid difficulty tier list from bottom to top. What's the hardest one? And afterwards, if you want, I can do even, you know, what looks the best. Because I'm just saying, everyone's got their own opinion. But I'm not going to lie, my favorites are these two. Out of all the elite raids, these two look the best. Like, don't get me wrong, the elite dragon is sick. But, and I think a lot of you guys will agree, it hides too much of my profile picture. And if you're a guy that likes their profile pictures, you want something that you can see, right? That's why I like the Hydra one too. The Hydra one's nice, and even the Thunder Rock one with those little lightning accents. But definitely these two, like, I love the Necro one. I always rock the Necro one. I will put this one on again soon. So this is probably my favourite frame at the moment. Yeah, I agree, Pause. The Necro one felt, honestly, when we got this, it felt fucking lit. Minding the language. Like, it felt sick. Because it was so hard, man. And it required everyone to be on point as well when we first did it. Especially now as well. And the funny thing is, now there's some extra strategies involving the Necro Giant where I believe you can actually, like, cheese almost. You know the effect that's like when you hit the Necro Giant? You take damage. A lot of people obviously have a problem with that effect. But a lot of the time we've been noticing, and we need to fully test it in this season too, but if you target just a single giant and not the Necro Giant, you won't get any damage dealt. And if that's the case, it will help a lot of people. Because if you're in the dark fire stages and stuff like that, you can just target the giant, right? And you know you can stand still in a corner if you can target that. It took you 4 hours? Bro, I feel that. I think it took us, so when we did our Necro, obviously when the Elite Raids first ever came, yeah, when the first ever came here, what we did was basically do them all. We got every single Elite Raid in that season, apart from the Necro, because our Necros were bugged at the time. So then we would try to complete it while it was bugged, and we couldn't. And then the next season came, and that's when we did it. But even then, when the Necro Giant unlocked in the Augur Stone, we tried from that time all the way through to the last week. And literally, I think it was like with 2 or 3 days left to go on that raid, or on the season, we completed the Necro. Like, we literally killed that Necro. So it was so hype that we did that. And the amount of time and effort, like, I do feel that. Just give me 1 sec. I just need to quickly run downstairs for 2 seconds, and I'll be back before we do this raid. I just have a parcel on its way, so I'm just letting the door be ready. So if it comes, they can just drop it down. Right, we're back. Don't worry. It's that quick. Whoa. Yeah, like you said, that's what we did. When we did the Necro, we didn't learn about the giant stuff, so, because obviously we were still just trying to complete it without figuring out any weird strats. So we were just moving like, you know, left, right. And on PC, it's easy to do this. It feels natural. Especially if you play stuff like League of Legends, you know, Dota, MOBA style games. This feels quite natural to you. Even Diablo in some regards. And if you've played Rock on PC, it feels natural. I need a second tank. I didn't know that, if that's true. If the giant takes damage in invulnerable state in a normal, but in elite it doesn't, that's just probably a bug. But the one thing we did as well, you know, I don't know if you did this, pause, but our setup was so different on the elite raid as well. Like, did you use infantry or did you actually use mages to tank? Because we had two of our guys run something like Lilia and Hosk as the, you know, like the giant tanks, and they just stood there and DPS'd it down. And honestly, that helped a lot as well. And for them as well, it was really good because for those mage players, you could get the giants aggro always. You know, it was so easy. I did inf. No, that's fair. We did inf a lot, man. And then one day, the day we did it, we just did magic instead. We had magic tanks for the giant. We only had two magic tanks, I think it were, and then the two infantry for the giant, the necro. That were brutal though. Yeah, man. If you have a guy who plays WoW, that's where a lot of my background comes from too. You know, I used to play WoW, Final Fantasy Online, League. You know, I've played so many games over the years that I like raid style, dungeon style games. So this aspect to the game, I love. You know, I find it easy. Don't get me wrong. I make it look easy, and a lot of people will say it's easy, but you got to think for a large mass. You know, they struggle, dude. Yeah, the problem with that damage check on the Necro, I get that as well. That's why we did Mage. We swapped it out. Because obviously Mages do way more damage as well. And because they do insane damage on, like, the Giant, you know they're going to hold aggro, right, forever. Yeah, in the first season, there's a lot more competition. In this season, the way it works, it's a little bit different. So, a good way of putting it, you have all the competition still in the early game with the giant and giant bears. So this is why I was actually saying that I think the giant bear frame is going to be a really rare frame. Because only 40 players can have this, and then another 40 players next season can have it, right? And there's so many alliances that can compete for it. So if you get that, it's like, I am not gonna lie, that shows your alliance are on and active and ready to go. So that one's gonna be crazy. But when you're in this zone like we are, you'll notice you have to fight for it, and if you win the zone, you get the ability to have those, you know, raids. Maybe if the other guys in, you know, the other areas won their zones, it might be a race, but yeah, I love the racing, man. Like when we did the racing for the bear, giant bear, well, giant bear, you know, fucking, and the Thunder Rock, they were good, man, because that race were close on here. The giant and giant bear one was insane, because on here, like GRZ won the first purification. So they even got the time off. You know, they started before everyone, and they had a clear, like, 30, 45 seconds ahead. And honestly, when you saw TA start about a minute and a half, you know, later, you thought GRZ. Everyone thought GRZ was going to win. And then next minute, you just see TA just creeping up. And next minute, they just overtook them, man. It was such a crazy race, man. I love it. Yeah, these guys as well in this season, you'll have noticed they have more raw stats. I wish there was a way of finding that out so I could, you know, let you guys know. But it was something we knew during, you know, beta testing and stuff. So at the moment, you guys go against the behemoths at a lower difficulty just because you're at 150k troop cap. But here, as you can see, you can get up to 250,000. Some guys here are at 220k already, you know. So some guys 250. So you can increase that troop cap, and because you get an increase in troop cap, obviously they need to make these guys harder. And obviously you got to think, your first season, you would have got all of our tech research completed, you'd have tier 4 research. So, you know, in a normal game state, if you ignored something like server 32 and 33 and all the big boy whale servers, in a normal game state, when you're at this stage, you've only just unlocked tier 4, or it might be only tier 3 still for some players, you know? And because you're at that stage, that's why it's really difficult. So you got to imagine now, in a reset, you're already starting the game with tier 4 units. So you've already got an advantage compared to last time, and that's why the game operates the way it does. It progressively gets harder and it scales up, but it's really nice that it does it. So here we go. Let's record our second attempt again so we can make a nice video. None of these stones have dropped nearby, so we're gonna... Oh, it dodged my shadow blades there. Nasty little dodge. We're going to make sure we're not in that area, because you can get hit by the AoE of that big circular one. So this is trash damage right now that you're looking at. I'll make this a bit more tank focused compared to normal. All the stones are over there. There's one near the tank. The tank's gained it, which is fine. Yeah, the Cav got the next one as well. So all this is trash damage. You can see those ones, like the little big, this AoE as well, trash damage. Nice, easy damage to dodge. That's what we call it in WoW. This is the first phase now, so you want to try and move away so you don't take any damage. There we go. And now this is like the mechanics of the raid. Make sure you're on a crevice. If you're on a crevice, we're all good. We've got these covered. This is covered. This is all covered. So it's going to allow us to continually deal DPS. This phase is always going to be repeatable, but every phase you do obviously gets harder. So there's going to be more and more of those nasty crevices to fulfill, as well as all of the spits that he does. You're going to see there's going to be a lot more spits too. So we're trying to get this heal off before he does that ability right there. Luckily enough, we're located just to the south. So by getting that healing stone, we've cleansed off our abilities. I'm moving to help these guys heal on this side, being a team player. Gonna sacrifice my DPS, it is what it is. There we go. Everyone's reset. So next phase, we're gonna have to do way more DPS focus, which is fine. This raid's all about sustain. It's not about, you know, trying to be the biggest dick, if you want to call it. You know, the big D. Don't try and do that. Because now we're already at 50% health, which is really, really good. So we've got the crevice phase again. Got one crevice here, two crevices down here. There's none around this that needs to be covered. This guy walked away from his. It's getting recovered. That's fine. This stage, you notice now he's spitting 2 out instead of the 1. So that's the increase of the spits as well as the crevices. And now, again, you can see the acid rain just dropping down. He's going to hopefully spit out some more healing in a second. And just when he does, we're going to go for the healing stone. There we go. If we can grab this healing stone really fast, it's going to be beneficial. But members are dying. Because those members are dying, obviously, it's going to cause the healing of the Hydra. So the damage stones are now out. Let's see if we can get a damage stone now. There we go. Try and get one of these damage stones before it runs out. Oh, nice. The other guy got it. Really nice teamwork. I'm moving over to help these guys because they're on 9. I'll be 10. Get the damage stone. Is this easy, honestly, to survive? As long as you're healing and you're doing what you need to do, guys. Tier 4 here. I'm not a T5 player. But now we're going to have to go on a crevice ourselves. I've got this one covered, boys. There's 2 on the left that need covering. One more. If he kept going and then this guy went to that one, it would have been fine. But there we go. Didn't fulfill it. And because you didn't fulfill it, you die. And with all that healing, guys, I still get a top 5 position. So you need to be doing all of these mechanics. Nice little showcase here of what not to do and what to do. Yep, that's what happens. People AFK, they're gonna take a bunch of damage. They're not gonna do their job. Gonna try again. We go again. My current tech? Sure. So that's my tech. That's why I run marksman, because I play marksman. So as I was saying though, you know, 110 days, and that's without any behemoth research speed reduction, any runes. And we need to do this at the end and leave it so then we can then start doing assault strategies and then finish off this to get the tier 5. Oh, we're good. We've got what we need. I would get this again so I can get more health if I could. I'd max these out, but we're chilling. We're chilling. We're going to do one thing at a time. I'm going to focus up. So, let's send them out again. We want Frega. Okay, so we want all this normal attack damage. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know, it's like Rock. I know what the tier 5 requirements are. It's like, I've played Rock, and on Rock, I've got a full tier 5 account, you know? I've got a max tech, max buildings. I had all the commanders like cav based maxed from like season 1 going up to season of conquest, but the only ones I missed out and I were working on before I stopped playing Rock were like Attila Takeda, because I still will love that march from like back in the day. But like I would maybe play a Rock again, but I can't, man. I've played this game too much that when I've always tried to jump back on rock, it just feels like wrong. Like I just wish certain things were there, you know. And it looks plain as well. If it didn't look as plain, I'd probably be a bit more inclined. But hopefully soon they get some more stuff in this, you know, like Arc and that. Yeah, and lag, true. I don't want to lag. Rock lags like hell, man. Even on the... I don't know, I've not tried it in a while, but when I did used to use their, you know, Rock official client, like I'm using the PC official client for COD now, like that even lagged at times, you know, so... Oh yeah, the graphics are way better on this. Like, even if you just go to the water, like look at the water, man. How could anyone say that this game looks worse than Rock? Like, eh? And this is like the desert terrain, you know? You go in, and you notice it, like, the terrain changes, and you're being Daralan. I'm trying to find the proper snowy area. It's up here. Maybe they got rid of the snow. Oh, there it is. Oh. See all your snow and stuff, man. And like, the trees change. But yeah, I do love it, man. It would be funnier if more of the Alliance members were watching the stream too. Because if everyone were watching the stream, it would be like, they'd be able to hear me almost give, you know, a delay by like maybe 30, I don't know, maybe like a 10-second delay. I don't know how much it is at the moment, but, you know, it'd be like, get the stone, get ready to take stone, and then they'd know. It was funny because I was going to say as well, look, guys, you know, I've done 2 for 2 Hydras and I've not died. And technically I didn't, but I did, you know, I got wiped. But I would, but these guys don't, I don't know why, but a lot of the Alliance don't really jump into voice here. I don't know why. A lot of the time it's just really, I'm not going to lie, when we're at war, if you could see, like, Wayne or, you know, Ghost and the others, like, some of them, whoever is in control of the marker system during that time, you can see it. It's way fast, man. Like, they just blitz markers out and get rid of them so quick that, like, you know what you're doing if you're, like, watching them. But I do agree. I always said the same, man. I played Rock at a very high competitive level, you know. We won all the KVKs in our alliance. We got all those stars. And it was like, we was always in a Discord, you know. Even in open field. And you call in who you're targeting and stuff. It was brutal. Maybe in the future it would be nice, you know. Maybe if I start a new account, you know, a proper account from, you know, once maybe we've had this season and the next, you know, so we can see what the first 3 seasons look like, and then I might make my own project then. That'd be a really cool project, I think. Because we'll have Discord, everyone can voice and stuff. You just hit 500k? Hell yeah, I did. Telling me you'll sing in Discord. Click easy, mate. That is true. I wish I could zoom out as well in this raid, just to like this click. This click would be sick if I could be in that view for the PC. I don't think they're going to be in the same pool. On the sole premise is like, if they put all the beta servers in the same pool with the globals, who's going to be testing all the new seasons? For global, you know? They always need someone to be testing out all the global stuff before it goes global. Because if there's any like weird gimmicks or bugs, we can randomly find them. It'd be like obviously beneficial for them, and they can see as well if you need to balance any heroes, any marches, any behemoths. They can sort it all out compared to putting everyone in the same pool, and then the next season everyone's like testing the same new server. It won't work. That's what these are. This is where I'm in server 2. You know? It's like they'll put things through test and then they'll put it through here on the beta so players can actually finalize it and then they put it through launch. That's what they've always done, so even in Rock it's the same. What's the best faction to play? It's up to you, dude. I like Spring Wardens, I'm not gonna lie. I really, really like Spring Wardens. Give you 5% march speed, 5% heal speed. They've got double cav units for now, and obviously there's not double cav, commanders, but there is players in this server that run 4 cavalry marches because of it still. They run like 4 different primary cavalry commanders and then rock whoever they want behind them. But I'd say Spring Warden still. Because then again, you got a good archer unit, you got a good mage unit, you just got good units. And then you get Guan, really good early game. But you can argue, League of Order, really good. I think they're all really good, I'm not gonna lie. I think all of them is really good. Yeah, I think he's doing it now. It's this guy. This guy is the guy who's been rocking like 4 cav marches. He'll do some crazy stuff, don't get me wrong. He'll run like Bakshi's Indis, Emery's Nika. I think it's like Hosk and Eliana with cav. And then I think he does Alistair and someone else. I've forgotten who. I think it's Garwood. He does Alistair Garwood, and he just runs all cav troops. But that's the setup, because then like I think he just is inherently tanky when he goes in. We've shown and tested Madeline, so I'm surprised he doesn't run like Bakshi Madeline. That'd be nasty to fight. Because you're just going to get shielded as your, rage generation goes back up. And then once that rage generation goes back up, happy days, Got some cool stuff coming out though as well. Got a load of content. Today I've got 2 videos coming out, so I hope you guys enjoy them both. Obviously one's already out if you've not checked it out. Really fun key opening video. Guy had over 500 keys hoarded, but that was like 258 gold keys, 250 some silver keys, 90 artifact keys. So that was really fun. And then once that comes out, what's the next video? I can let you guys know. I'll let you guys know on stream, for the viewers, the true diehard fans. Oh yeah, it's the XP guide. I shouldn't have forgot that. I put out a new XP guide, updating you guys on XP. Obviously, the patch changes, but here in our server, we've got kind of a, I wouldn't say, well, you could say it maybe a meta, or I don't know. We've got our own guide on how we're doing our XP and our heroes. So I've kind of given you guys that. So at the moment, we need to wait for you guys in global, and we'll know when season 2 starts. Because the big question, and this is the thing that no one can answer and no one knows. It's all to do with how this is set up here. So right now, you guys are in Burning Stars and Dragon Calls. So that's like the tutorial stage. So once you've done this phase, you should merge and join Burning Stars, which is the full Burning Stars campaign. And then you should get introduced into Stars Reignited. That's how it should work. But we don't know if you are going to go from Burning Stars, Dragon Calls, and go straight into Stars Reignited. You know, that's the one thing we don't know yet. You know, we have to wait for that information, unfortunately. So I do apologise for that, chat. But yeah, he has insane artifacts too, dude. Like he'll run Solan's Blade, the Blink on one of his calves too. I don't know if he has any others, but I know he has those because I see him use them. So it is really fun. So you can do stuff like that, you know, later in. And it'd be more cool for him because he's got, you got to imagine, which is kind of scary. If you're a cavalry player and you've been playing Cavs and you've got all the troops ready and you've got Bakshi and Emrys, you know, maybe awakened because that's your goal, to play Cav only. You might be saving all the heads for the next commanders, and the next commanders could be more cavalry. So could be in a very good position as well. Like archer players, you know, archers have got a load of access to heroes right now. That's why they're kind of really good. But you can imagine when the mages come again, it's going to bring everything into balance. Or an equilibrium, whatever you want to name it. I make war for you to enjoy. Zoo. I wish I could, please, game, just glitch it and just let me have it. You know, you can. The game wants to do it, it just won't. It wants to, but it just won't. Couple of minutes. Let's see if we can make 3 back-to-back top 5 DPS positions for this. Because that would be 3 in a row. And that would mean, honestly, for the guys that have got Nico, really good update, right? Because it means with Nico, you can then get your Freyga and transition into having that. As I said earlier, I'm in the PC client beta, so that's why I'm able to play on the PC client. So that's why I'm able to play it. And that's also why we have the PC client frame. This one. Hopefully, I can find Pervy Sage in a sec. There we go. I'm going to scout him. Got one of our tanks in. Oh no, someone started it. Get out before it hits you. Get out. There's always one. Somehow there's one. Oh, and I actually took damage because of the AoE. Ah! Refresh. Let's just, you know, refresh. No, it's cool, darn dude. It's cool. Yeah, my movement is really good. I think that's what a lot of people like to watch. When you see me in raids and you watch my movement, it's pretty on point. Especially if you watch like the elite Flame Dragon and Necro, you'll notice like I don't rarely take any damage, you know? It's just about moving. Just gotta keep moving, boys. I'm gonna see what this says. If this says we're gonna do another attempt now, obviously I'm gonna go. But if it's not, this is gonna be a big F, boys. Sylvia. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the time I would excuse this, you know, behavior, you know. A lot of alliances suffered from this, and you know what? You've seen we've just done it again, but it wastes time, and for us, it's an annoyance because you got to think we've played. This is technically the 4th season we've had to go against these Hydras and stuff. So it'd be the 3rd season we've fought against, you know, elites. So we would have expected the boyos by now to stop doing the silliness, but it is what it is. Or girls, you know, assuming gender right now. We're in 2023. Come on, Nico, get home, you ginger throw monster. There we are. Boom, bish bash bosh, back up. Hopefully we make it in time. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. It depends on the legendary. Some of the legendaries are better. Some of the than the epics. Like Nico is better than, well, I don't know. Craig Awakened is bonkers. But like this is the one thing. It depends on who you're gonna put in. But like Valen is, I think Valen is weird. I think Valen at 5111 is better than your Waldia, for example. Because the Waldia Awakening gets 700 damage. Yeah, you get these nice buffs. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I'd still rather have 5% hero skill damage bonus, but then like 4% crit. The crit's insane. Like, people underestimate crit in this game. I mean, that reduction on them. So I think it just depends on the heroes, really. I honestly want to say, like, epics are stronger than 511s. And I personally believe an awakened epic should be better. But, no. Like, that's a good one. Like, Guan Win Awakened is better than Nico at 5111. And that's a really good one. So, like, because when you look at Nico 5111, you get some good stats. This is useless, but you get 10% attack, good. You get 10% normal attack damage. So these 20% worth of stats are already really good, right? But Guan Win's a little bit of a cheeser because she gives you 15% attack, but then she gives you 10% increase to all damage dealt. And that 10% is way more beneficial than just the 10% normal, right? Because that means she's giving you 10% normal attack damage, 10% counter attack damage, 10% skill damage, like everything to do with it, she's giving you more of, right? Even the toxic skill based damage that you've got on her when she's awakened does more. So Guan Win is better than Nico. That's why I say to you guys in my guides, having that Guan Win set up with the precision tree, and I still have her like that. Look, I'm not even I'm not even lying. I still have her built for raiding if I need to try her. But when you get to this stage now, when I think you're starting to get more legendary heroes like I am, I think like now Nico being the state he is for me is obviously going to be better, right? But Guan Win's really fucking strong, boys. Guan Win's ridiculously good. So is Craig. That's another one. Craig's absurd awakened. Get 200 extra damage on this. You're hitting the two nearby guys that hits the 300 damage factor. So now you're doing 1100 damage in total. No, you're doing 1400 damage in total. And then those targets take 200 damage every second for 3 seconds. So that's another 600 skill-based damage on those two guys. So in total, you've got 2000 skill-based damage on an AoE effect. He's an epic hero. He gives you 10% hero skill damage. Like, I'm telling you, Craig for archers is busted, bro. He's probably one of the most slept on awakened epic heroes. I definitely will say that. I don't care what anyone says. This guy is bonkers. The only problem I honestly have with Craig, and it's not even a problem with Craig, I think it's the problem with the unit. Flying units do way less damage compared to your natural archer units, and that obviously makes, you know, sense because they get to fly, right? So because I get to fly over terrain, I should sacrifice something. But the amount of damage you sack is insane. And even they're both where it's like you get increased skill damage doesn't even benefit you that much in a raid. So it's like and thanks, Roxa. I try to give you guys, you know, all the information straight off the top of the dome, you know? And it's the fact that I've been playing this game every single day since server 4 when I started and migrated then into server 2. So we've been playing every day since the very first like beta server all the way up to now. So, and the cool thing is, I'm one of them guys as well, you know, and some guys showed me a build, and I was like, yeah, your build does more damage than my build, but your build's bugged, and that's why I'm not using your build. And that's the difference, right? So I know the difference between how builds should be operated and how builds are operating. So I'm always going to be telling you guys information that you're not going to be annoyed about, because you might have a talent tree that you've got that does insane damage, but then mid-season they might change how peacekeeping talents work, for example, and then that build gets nerfed, and then you can't use it, and now you have to reset all your talents. So we don't want to do that, do we? We don't want to get you in that situation. So the reason we are how we are. And like I said, when I'm wrong about something, I say I'm wrong, you know? The only way you're going to learn, innit? And you guys know that. And that's what this channel, hopefully, you guys enjoy. Information and learning. Being part of the process, you know? When you guys suggest stuff, I'll look into it, you know? That's why I'm waiting for some more weird suggestions. Because, like, I was the first guy to pioneer the Madeline, right? And I don't think anyone else on YouTube has said anything to do with it yet. And I'm waiting for someone to do it and maybe give me any props. But it's like Madeline being able to, be a physical-based hero. She can go with your Nico and do some insane damage while making that Nico tanky. So why not try it with an Emrys or a Bakshi? You know, why not try it with these other marches and make them very scary to roll with? So one last one to get in. Hopefully this is the 10th. Third time's a charm. Third time lucky. Fourth is the leaf of the clover. You lose damage factor. What? Wait, what? What are you on about? Sorry. You lose damage factor and won't be much of a threat. I don't know what that means, boy. Pause. What does that mean? What are you on about? We know about that. Yeah, they are. That is true. They're adding more ways to get talent resets, so. Oh no. Yeah, this is the thing you'd be surprised. Check out the video. Do you know what? Pause. Check out the video. Go and check out the Madeline video. We had Ghost run. So we had, a dummy march. The exact same march every single time. A Garwood and I think Madeline or Garwood Eliana march, right? So it was the same staple test that you could run. He were running max marches, and you could watch a full marksman march lose DPS compared to the Nico Madeline march. Because the Nico Madeline march, and the way what we looked at were you fire off your damage and then the shield applies, giving your normal hits that 20% attack buff. And because you're shielded for so much time, it allows your Nico to actually get like 50% the way up, and your rage cycling becomes more of a factor. And what's even more scary with that march, which I think you probably haven't counted in, is the counter-attack damage. Just think, the counter-attack damage you have on this march, it's an absurd amount. So it's a really cool concept, because it's a physical-based hero, and because she's a physical-based hero, and the only line of text to do with this Madeline is the infantry HP of 15%. It's so gonna be, different. So yeah, you're right. And in war, this is why we're experimenting and we're willing to test things instead of just shutting it down like you are. Because in war, if I'm an archer player and I get targeted a lot, I would prefer to have more sustain. If I can sustain my march out for a lot longer, then obviously that's more beneficial, because I'm going to get more benefits of my stamina usage, right? So if I use 10 stamina and I can get 100,000 merits compared to only getting like 60,000 merits, surely that's way better. So obviously we're going to test this in open field eventually, where we get some more big open field fighting. But it's just, it's experiment, man. The game's early. I want guys to actually experiment and test things out instead of just assuming and shutting things down, So I'd love to see the Bakshi one. The Bakshi, I honestly think the Madeline stuff would work better with cavalry. Like, I honestly think it works better with cavalry, and it makes more sense that Madeline stuff works with the cav. Let's get on to here quickly. And the reason why I reckon it would work better with cav is because of unyielding rush, right? Because you got to imagine, if you're a cav player and you get to run in with your Emeries or your Bakshi's, instantly get that 1k rage, deal 1400 damage or 1500 damage, whatever match you're using, and then immediately get that 1200 shield, 20% attack buff, and you're basically protected while, you know, you're gaining your next rage bar. I think it's going to be a really powerful thing for Cav, so... Yeah, no, that's another thing, though. So, what you've just said about Hosk is a really good example. Hosk is really good behind certain commanders because he amplifies raw stats, and Madeline does the same. I don't know, bro. I don't know how people are dying. I don't know. That guy's on that one. I'm on this one. Someone else is on this one. So, do you know what? Since there's two people on it. Oh, can I dodge that in time? No. My bad. Why did it come off it? Oh, I hate people. I actually hate people. Whoever that was on stream. Oh, I'm gone. I've got to go out. Honestly, I hate whoever this guy, whoever it was. I should have clicked. I should have just stayed there and clicked. Like, Jesus. Oh, I get what you're saying. But yeah, no, that's what was... It's really cool that you're saying that, though. But it's the same principle. So if you're going to use Hosk as the primary for the defense buff, and then obviously gain these stats, right, for your march, Madeline does the same thing. She stops you from getting surrounded. She gives you counter-attack damage. She gives you extra damage dealt. And she gives you survivability. So this is the reason why people are in our server are testing Madeline for physical heroes. So I really want to see her being used for cabs. Literally, like, cabs would be, I think, the way, man. It's embarrassing. As you guys know, that's embarrassing. And it's again, one guy messes up and it just causes everyone to... oh, it hurts. It hurts so much, dude. Why can't people just stick to the mechanics, man? Oh. Yeah, they got nerfed with the... No, well, this is what this is my hot take. You say Cav got nerfed, bro. Cavs do so much work on this server. Cavs are brutal on this server. The thing is, Cavs were so good, they were left unchecked. That's why the Legion March change happened. Like, you had to have that in place. Because cavalry were just running through units and killing them. Like, that just doesn't happen, man. It's just absurd. Like, Cavs now take skill to use. And that's what I want. I want every march to take skill to use. Because even as a mage player, everyone can argue the difference between a good and a bad mage player, right? And a really good example of it is a good mage player could target, for example, a tier 4 march, knowing their AoE is going to hit the tier 5 march without taking that extra damage, right? So that's an example of being good with mages. And another version is like archers, right? Being able to move in and out of combat efficiently to finish off those targets with your archers is a really key skill. And like infantry needs to be good to be able to tag those units, you know, to hit that rampage trigger to get the 90 or 80% movement speed slow. If you're able to do that, you're a good infantry player, you know. And it's now the same with Cav. I think Cav, the best way to be, well, to know if you're a good Cav player is being able to figure out the lines or figure out tile hopping just right to outmaneuver the you know, the field and just wreck face, because they do that. People run fear too. You can do that with Cavs, dude. You're giving other options, Ultra. You're just giving another example of another commander that could be used overall. So overall, obviously, it exceeds using all unit types. Fear would work with Flying Cav and Normal Cav too exceptionally well. The exact same way. She gives you a nice shield. She increases your damage stats. She gives you what you need. So with Cavs, this is the same. If you want a more tankier Cav march, Madeline's going to be another way. You know, Hosk, another really good hero that's going to be used. Like, we've seen the guy, and I think Pervy Sage, if Pervy is in chat watching, or one of the barcode guys are in chat watching from GRZ, they'll tell you, I've seen him use Garwood. Garwood as a secondary to fill the role of, like, a sustained Cav unit. Because if they can send an Alistair out with a Garwood, and then they've got, you know, Emery's, Emery's Nika, they've got Bakshi, Fear, Hosk, and let's just, I don't know, anyone, right? To make their 4 Cav march up, whatever they do. When they've got their marches out, all they want to do is make sure those Cavs stay out as long as possible. So if you can make them sustain, and you know that unyielding rush is going to trigger, right? Because that's the power of Cav. Yeah. And the Flying Cav too. Because if you're Spring Wardens, I don't know if you guys know, but if you're Spring Wardens, your Cav being ranged don't have unyielding rush. But the normal Cavs and the Flying Cavs do. So having this effect is a really big, you know, factor when it comes into this. So I like this discussion though. I like the fact that you guys are throwing good points, man. Good points and good discussion topics, you know. But I hope you see where we're coming from, right? You understand the principle, which I can see in chat. You understand the principle, which is really good, because you're offering advice and ideas, which is exactly where we've come from. We used to run Fear and Husk all the time. We used to run this all the time, dude. And then we're just looking at Fear. And like, look, if I say it to you, you'd understand more, right? Because in this game, a lot of the buffs are determined by 2 bases, right? You either have troop-specific specific buffs, or you have Legion-specific buffs. And they're 2 very different things, as you know. Because a unit troop buff, as you know, is something like this. Marksman unit attack, as you know. And if you look at Hosk, this is Legion, right? And Legion is very key, because that means any unit gains that benefit. So when you look at Madeline, you always want to try and pair her with physical-based heroes, and that's why we're talking about cavalry, infantry, and archers as different usage, because we did do the video on Madeline, right? We have checked out, and if you haven't checked it out, go and look. But But with Madeline, this is gaining a 1200 shield on that march and a 20% attack bonus on that march. And this is a physical buff that's Legion based. When you go to the next one, again, her Legion capacity is increased and her Legion in the fields physical damage is increased. And because it's all Legion based, that's what changes Madeline now from being considered maybe an infantry hero to maybe an overall hero. The only infantry based stat that you can see in her text is this. As you know, all infantry units lose 15% worth of stats, or you gain 15% worth of stats, should I say, but everyone else, Legion-wise, deals 15% more counter-attack damage. And obviously, on the top, this is just a nice little bit of extra, right? You know, whenever you break your shield, you gain the damage. Cool, it is what it is. I like, oh yeah, if you're wondering, Raza, yeah, I like 5111 Madeline. But that's the concept, right? So, as you guys know from Rise of Kingdoms, anything that's like, you know, I can use YSG, because YSG gives me skill damage on multiple heroes, right? Because and this is kind of, I wouldn't say the same concept, but it is, right? It's the fact that we're trying to see if Madeline has more uses. Because if Madeline has more uses, guys, then that would mean Madeline, in my eyes, is a higher investment hero, right? Because if you could get a 5-5-1 Madeline, and that Madeline can be paired up with so many future physical-based heroes, that's cavalry, infantry, and marksmen, that's a really good position to be in. Would you not agree? Defense reduction skill useless, but it doesn't though. This is what we're saying. If you're reducing the physical defense of a unit, that means they're taking more damage through normal hits and counter-attack damage hits. They're physical damage based hits. So if you're reducing physical damage, any physical damage you deal is increased. So that's why we're saying it. And you can try and argue this, that's fine. But if you watch the video, you're going to see something completely different. And it's like, we tried Nico and Fia, we tried Nico Madeline, we did Nico Kanara, we did Nico Guanwin, we did all of them, Nico Hosk, you know, we did all those things that was required. And that was, you know, just to test the difference on the concept. So, well, I hope you guys get it though, right? Yeah, we can. Oh, I know what you're saying, but I don't understand what that. I don't get what that has to do with what we were talking about. You're talking about the. Yeah, no one knows the exact number. No, I've tried to figure it out. I'm not gonna lie. I've tried to figure out the number because what did I do? I did it on stream once and almost I almost tried to figure it out because you could see, for example, your normal attacks getting hit and they were like 200, 200, 200. And then you could see out of nowhere like 266 or 286 for like a two or three hits, then it stopped. So I didn't know if that 260 ult was the critical hit or the defense reduction hit difference. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to figure it out. That's why, you know, I'd say the things we do because I don't just sit idle and do nothing. You know, we've been 3 seasons testing deep on how marches and damage works, and I've asked as well, like yourself. You know, I've asked how the damage work. I've asked the Call of Dragon CS even to explain it in a simple term, right? I said to him, for example, if you're Call of Dragon CS and I want to know how damage is worked, I went, could you not explain it? For example, if I have an archer march that has 200 attack, that means it deals 200, base damage, normal attack, right? So then, if I have any buffs now, do I get 20% of that number and added on? So that would be obviously 20% on, so that is 220 damage. And then when I have another buff, do we do 220 damage plus the next 20%? Or do you calculate it that you have 200 damage and two separate buffs that are 20 and 20, that adds up to 40%, so you do 40% of 200, which is a bigger number than two 20s that are added on to each other, right? And I've tried to get it myself and ask how that works, but they won't explain it to me, and I've been trying to figure it out. So I think we're both on the same. I think we're both on the same path. I think we both agree with what we're saying. It's just one of them things that we're all at, like, we need something that we can test marches on, like actually test marches on. And the only way at the moment I feel you can test a march is if you have a whale, and if that whale uses a Madeline and Goud march. And if that march is purely awakened, that'd be a really good test dummy. Because that march is designed not to take damage, right? So you can send a march out, have these same talent page set up on the Madeline Garwood march, so it's just literally sat there as a World of Warcraft target dummy in the open world, and you just hit it, right? And see how much damage you deal within 5 tests, for example, or 10 tests with that talent build. And then hopefully you can take the average out of each test and work it out then. That's what I'd do, but that's going to take ages, and I need some sort of Ark of Osiris or time to do that, But I'd love to do that one day. I'd love to be able to give you guys the exact numbers, as you know. I'm trying to be that guy. I'm trying to give you all the info, and as we learn it as well, Because this is all first look stuff here, what we're seeing and playing in, so... Let's go. We have we got any... Can you explain how counterattack damage works? Yeah, I can try and explain it. I wonder if it gives you a tooltip. There was a way I think you could find out, but I don't know if it shows you anymore. Because the way I always assign counterattack damage, this is the way I would always look at counterattack, right? So counterattack works in a very simple basis. If you have, for example, you're stood there taking the damage, right? You have a march attacking you with normal attack hits. So that's going to be, for example, 100 damage, right? If you've got counter-attack damage, what that means is every single time that person hits you with normal attack damage, you convert so much of that hit and reflect it back to them, basically. Like, you're doing damage back, and it's always a percent. So, obviously, they might do their damage numbers, and they might be dealing, like, 5,000 damage to you. And if you're doing, 20% of that, you're only going to be dealing, like, 1,000 damage back for hypothetical states, That's basically how the counterattack damage system works. Your counterattack damage does not reflect skill damage unless, and this is the big unless, the skill says otherwise. So obviously skill damage is skill damage, but if you look at Syndreon's skill 1 isn't skill damage. He increases his normal attacks he launches. Because he launches an additional normal attack, counter attack would obviously affect this, right? So I hope that explains the best of the way I can explain counterattack for you. But just think, the counterattack damage, whatever someone hits you by, it's always a percentage off that, and you hit them back with that number, basically. So you still take damage, so you'll still take the full amount, 1,000 damage, but you reflect maybe 200 back, or 300 damage back, And again, the more people that hit you, the more counterattack damage that you're going to be dishing out, because, again, you got to think, if you got 5 marchers all hitting you, you got 5 marchers worth of flipping over those guys. If I could do it all when I grab Syndron, I can still grab him. There's the strongest lord here. And there's still another strongest lord event. Hopefully we can get him in the next one maybe, but I'm in no rush. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I know from Rise of Kingdoms experience, this hero eventually will come out. And if I don't get him, I don't get him. It is what it is. Obviously, I'd love to get him. And if I could have unlocked him through the Wheel of Destiny, that would have been the best chance. But yeah, he is. Honestly, for Behemoths, he's a monster. For Behemoths, this guy and rallying, he is a monster for rallying and Behemoths. And it's all because of the way he's hitting additional normal attacks. On this 5th one, for the first second in combat, he gains rapid fire too, so he gains another additional auto attack. So normally, I think you launch one normal attack. Let's say that again. We normally launch one normal attack per second. So here, you get 2 at the start, and then obviously after that first second, afterwards you gain an additional bit of damage. So this goes up really great, massive though. Really powerful ability. And here we got some nice crit, nice HP bonus for PvP. But yeah, he's really good for your PvE content and rallying. I don't know how strong he's gonna be when you awaken him. I can imagine when you awaken him, he's a monster because of this skill. Because he's probably gonna land critical hits more often than you think. So I could see that as well. Hosk. Do you know what? If you had a Hosk primary and then the Syndron behind him, I think that'd be really powerful. Because you make the Syndron tanky, as with all the stats that you want. Or you could flip it, right? You could make Syndron primary to try and get that normal attack damage bonus from Hosk and be a more offensive march. So I could see that. I can see that. Would work really well, I think. I like Hosk. I really like Hosk. A lot of people wonder, but Hosk and Fear are really good heroes, because the fact that they're both overall heroes, and honestly, Hosk is just the biggest stat stick that you care about in this game. The stats he gives is great. So I really do like him. We got any more questions? We've got another 2 hours until the next, attempt. So I might call it a day for now until we get closer. I'm going to record, obviously, more footage, because at the moment, as you guys know, or you might not know, I've got a holiday booked. I'm going to go on holiday next week. We've got a bunch of content coming out, a bunch of stuff, so don't you worry. But I won't be live streaming next week, so that's why I've been really busy. It's like yesterday I recorded and made something like 10 videos or something. I'm happy to keep answering questions while we're just chilling out. No, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe if you're a whale, you're gonna spin that like always, but I span it once in my first compendium, and don't get me wrong, I got lucky and I got a legendary in my first 5 spins. But I would not spend 30k gems on it. I'm not gonna lie. 30k gems is a lot of wheel spins, boys. Like, a lot of wheel spins. And it's even, and this is another way of putting it, right? And obviously, it's not going to be applicable to a lot of you now, right? But just think, 30k gems is almost the exact amount you need to go from VIP 1 all the way to VIP 8. Because you need 35,000 gems, right? So you're missing 5k gems and you could hit VIP 1 to 8. You know? So that's when you start comparing stuff, that's when it gets, you know. One of the next champs I am hoping for, honestly, I want a mage and a flying cav hero. That's what I want. I want a mage and a flying hero. But if they've done 2 archer heroes, they might do 2 mage heroes, or they might do 2 cav heroes. Do you know what I mean? Because if you follow that rock formula, as you all know, every season they do stuff in pairs, right? So you got Saladin and Khan, the 2 cavs, you know. You had Alex and Thingy for your infantry. Then you got like Trajan and so on. You know, you can name the pairings, Gilgamesh and like Ramses and stuff. Like all these different pairings always came out together. So I think you're gonna get 2 of the same hero. But I'm not gonna lie, I really would like a flying cav hero and a mage hero now. And the only reason I say that is for the main roster for season 1 going into, and if you can imagine this, guys, from a Rise of Kingdoms point of view, right? This could be classed as KVK 1, 2, and 3. So in this next one, you get your last bit of seasonal heroes before, you know, like a season of Conquest or KVK Conquest mode that comes in Call of Dragons, right? So if you can imagine that, if we got a mage and a flying cav hero next, and then the next 2 heroes could be something like a garrison and rally based hero and stuff like that, you would then in seasons 1, 2, and 3 on Call of Dragons have all the basic and base heroes required to run any march type, right? You'd have a flying cav hero and you could run a flying cav march with Fear if you really wanted to. You have other cavalry heroes that you could pair with it as well. You also, at the moment, and this is the one thing, everyone says you're lacking cavalry heroes, you're lacking mage. I know you only have the 1 epic hero, and I think you're going to get another epic cavalry hero soon as well. But you've got Emrys and Bakshis, dude. And originally for us, Bakshi was a wheel commander. He wasn't even in the golden chests. This guy was a wheel commander. But mages, there's Valen. You tell me who else you have. Because if you tell me Lilia, I will disagree with you, and I can give you multiple reasons. Because Lilia, and the number 1 reason we cannot put Lilia in that category is because she's a paid hero, the same as Hosk. So if you could imagine this was a free-to-play player game, you was going to earn everything in this game. No one was going to spend. How are you going to earn Hosk and how are you going to earn Lilia? You can't. You have to pay for them. So if you exclude these guys from the game, the only mage hero you have is Valen. And then you've got Wildea down at the bottom, which you start with. And then you've got the Aloin and Atheus, right? And these are good because you've got a nice epic foundation. But legendary hero-wise, you're by yourselves, boys. Like, even if you look at infantry, infantry's got Madeline, you've got Nika, and you've got Garwood, you know? Cavalry, Bakshi, Emrys. You got 2. Valen. So that's what I'm talking about. I think you need a flying cav hero and a mage hero. If those come out, then it's going to be a nice balance. Maybe I'll make a video on it, you know? If you guys like how I've been talking right now. I can make a video on it. Maybe a more discussion preach video over future heroes, what I think is going to come. That's what I believe, you know. But if they're going to do anything, it could be a pair, or hopefully it's one flying cav, one mage hero. So we need another PvP mage. I don't know. I don't think you need another PvP mage. I think you need just a different mage. Because you've technically got two almost PvP mages. Even though she's peacekeeping, all of these skills are really PvP heavy. I just think you need a different mage that's not PvP here. It could be something else. I'm trying to think. I don't want Gather. Do you know what? I wish this tree was something different. Like, I wish instead of peacekeeping, there was like... I'm trying to think. I'd rather have this like a utility tree. Like, if you think about it, I'd rather have this as like your unit tree, your utility tree, and this could be an optional tree. So, like, you could have, for example, instead of this, you'd have marksman, the utility tree that's mobility, and instead of the mobility tree, this could be something different. So you could have, like, I don't know, flanking, or skill like we already have, or, you know, tank like we do. You know, more of a defined role. Because if you have utility-based things here, I think it'd be better than having either peacekeeping, engineering, and PvP, because they're not used, right? You don't use PvP trees. You don't use, well, you don't use peacekeeping trees. You don't use engineering trees. Yeah, rally. That's a really good one. Rally mage. That'd be cool. Mage, rally, and whatever. Mobility. You know, something that'd be just weird. Be really cool to see instead of something else. I don't... Do you know what? I wouldn't see a mage hero with precision. And the reason why is precision is generally based for normal attack damage, right? So it's a very physical-based attribute. So you would see control. That makes more sense. But precision is always used for physical. So that's why you see it on the archer heroes more than you see it on, you know, mage heroes. Even on overall hero, you see precision. But on fear, you got the support tree, right? So that's what I'd go on. That's what I'd think. I hope you've enjoyed that. A little bit of insight to my thoughts on the game and what I'd hope they bring out in the future. You guys got any more questions? Any more questions? And then we might wrap things up for today. Nice little couple hour streams. Bro, I've only just noticed I have a road missing there. Let's put that road in. What we'll do while we wait I'll see if anyone wants to join this rally. The best current march? It's a tough one. I honestly think the best current march is either between two. It's either Bakshi Emrys or Kanara Nico. I think they're the two best marches in the entire game. And I'm not even going to lie. For now, obviously without testing Freyga and testing out Sinjon to the extent we've tested out the others, I'd definitely put Bakshi and Kanara. Bakshi Emrys, Kanara, Nico. I think they're the two best marchers, definitely. Because if you have those four heroes and you have them all awakened, the synergistic value they have with each other is too strong. Emrys is obscene when he has this fully kitted out. The amount of rage generation he has is insane to add onto the Bakshi. And when Bakshi's increase, even though you're only gaining 100 extra damage, the big stat is gaining an extra 10% health. And having an extra 10% health for your march, including all of these other stats you have. Madeline Nika would be third. Madeline Nika, definitely third. Without question. Third would be Madeline Nika. I would probably put... The more I think about it, I'd put Kanara Nico second and the Bakshi Emrys first. I think that's how I'd phrase it. Even though I'm an Archer player and I don't want to be biased to Archers, I think that's how I'd have to do it. Because this march is the only march that's gonna kill the Nico or the Kanara Nico march. And the reason why this march is the best in the game is once you've got all the stats awakened, the fact that both heroes get a 5th skill, and this 5th skill that they both gain actually combines perfectly together. So whenever you launch a normal attack, you have a 1 in 5 chance of defense shredding them. And if you defense break and defense shred them, Nico says if you are now defense shred, I deal extra physical damage to you. So this is an obscene amount of damage that you have free to you at your disposal. So Valen and Lilia would probably be... Oh, well, I'd put Lilia... Well, yeah, no... I'd probably put Valen first, though, maybe. I like Valen first more I play it than Lilia first. A lot of people like Lilia first, and it's... Honestly, you can argue for both. And the reason why is for the skill damage, right? Really, really powerful. But the more I play, the more you get targeted, the more you kind of fall in love with Valen. Because I actually really, really like running this tree, what I'm on now. This tree is the tree I like running in PvP with Valen. Because you get all the rage generation you need, and you punish the players that target you, which you will get targeted being a mage. I'm not lying. And because... Then you go down this PvP tree, you honestly get some insane stats that you're going to take abuse of. So, I really, really do like it. But I'd put that fourth, and the reason why we put it fourth, you guys with, well, any mage player that tries to fight an archer player just straight out loses. 10 times out of 10, you lose. It's not even close. That's probably why. And I don't know if the Nico Kanara will beat the Bakshi Emrys. I don't think it does. And the fact that obviously Cav has the natural affinity against them, that's why they beat him. But if you're going to take that out of the equation, I like Kanara Nico more. You can use it as a march in raids. You can use it in PvP. It's going to kill everything on sight. So that's why I'd probably place those at the top 3. And then the Valen Lilia or Lilia Valen combination at rank 4. The thing is, like, the 5th strongest match, and this is excluding Freygar and Syndreon, guys, would probably be something, again, like, with Hosk involved. Like, it'd be like Madeline and Hosk. Like, that match is terrifying as a 5th match. Like, this thing just does so much damage. How many troops did we even do this with? Like 400k? Yeah, no, the precision tree for Nico is the same. I'm not gonna lie, like, guys, if you ran this tree, this is the tree I'd run on Nico if you're gonna use him as your raid killing. Next season, I'm probably gonna do that. So next season, Nico's gonna be my raid killing hero. Freygar's gonna be like a hero I use with the mobility tree. Kanara will be my PvP hero. And then I'll have like Craig and Fia leveled up and Hosk. I think that's the way we're going to start moving. Because a lot of my other heroes are doing better. Like, the reason I'm not going to use Guan Win is Freygar does Guan Win's job better now for me. Especially at this skill level. But the reason I use Craig is so I can still have that flying march. But as you guys know, I love Craig's Awakening. So nice and easy, stage 10 complete. So we got our 2 heads for the end of the stream. Duracell, stage 3, he's just started his, so he's just woke up. Two more Season 2 tokens, so we're going to save them. And start saving. Just in case these new heroes I want to unlock one. But we've been lucky, to be fair. I'm not going to lie, guys. Back to back, I've had the this one. The one extra token. So tomorrow we got one more day. Hopefully we get another free token. But I think I'm going to call it quits today, guys. We've had a nice, easy, casual stream. Nothing too crazy. No PvP, unfortunately, occurring today. But hopefully we're going to kill our 4th attempt on the Elite. And soon, you can see Pass 2 is ready. Our Pass 2 opens up in a couple of days. If you check the Augustone. We're going to get an extra 5 village count after this. But then we're going to be able to then scout. And then gain access to the zone 2. And we're going to get another village increase. So, really nice. So, that should be fun when we get into here. Get into Lorcan. We get into those Necros and Diabear raids. If you've enjoyed the stream, remember, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz, and you'll always get notified and reminded when any of my content comes live, or if you've missed it. So just check it out. Thank you for all the support, guys. You guys are always amazing. Make my streams always the best. And I always enjoy myself. So, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Thank you for all the support. But for me, peace out. Stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. And I'll catch you in the next stream. And we have some new videos coming out. So keep an eye out for all of those.